everyone, and welcome back to the first in a new series that I'm doing here. I'm going to do one video every week in the month of October just to get us into those creepy Halloween vibes, and I'm going to be talking about scary stories, paranormal activity, things of that nature that either I have experienced or some of my friends have experienced. And since I'm going to be posting this on all of my social media, I kind of took to social media to get some of those stories from my friends. So today's video is going to be all about the different stories that I got from some of my friends on Facebook, and that way I can convey those to you and hopefully they can creep you out a little bit. Also, please bear with me through this series as my pets run the house and you're probably going to see some appearances of them. And speaking of appearances, I'm going to be posting a video of Olive's outfit of the week. Somewhere on the screen, I'm going to be showing you now a video of Olive in her little Halloween outfit, and that way you can see her for this week. She's going to be having a different outfit every week in October, so I can't wait to show you those because trust me, she has a full wardrobe. She loves Halloween as much as I do. So, the first video that I have today is from someone who posted it on Facebook for me, and at the end of this video I am going to post all the names of the people whose stories these are, for those of them who are okay with me using their names. In some of these videos, not everyone is super comfortable with me using their names and providing that information to the public, and that is totally fine with me, but I think today everybody was okay with me using their names. So, the first video comes from one of my Facebook friends. It is pretty creepy, and they were camping in the White River area in Buffalo City, Arkansas, so not too far from here, but a little bit of a drive. And I guess there's some campgrounds there. He was staying in some of the cabins, and they had left their cabin for a little bit in the evening, and when they were coming back to their cabin, it was getting pretty dark. And what they saw darting between two cabins was two white figures. So they first thought, hey, that's probably just some kids that are hanging out in the campground, and I don't blame them. That's probably where your first thought would be. They figured out pretty soon that there was no way that the kids could have been running as fast as these two white figures were, and it was too dark to really see much, but they knew that they were completely white figures. And I've heard of this before. I've heard of people seeing white figures that don't really have a face. They don't really have details. It's kind of just like a silhouette, a white silhouette. And so in this case, he saw two of them. And I am not a huge camper, but I think if I had heard that that was happening in this campground, I definitely wouldn't go there. And I guess there's a history, especially in this area in Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri. We have a lot of Native American grounds where tribes used to live. So I guess that's the case where this was, from what he provided me, the information that he provided me on Facebook. It used to be Native American tribal grounds, and that's basically where they lived, so it could have something to do with that, but I don't know if I think that two completely white figures necessarily mean something. Maybe it means something in the Native American culture that I don't know, but I thought that was really interesting that there was some history of that area. So my next story actually happens a little closer to home. It's one of my dance friends provided me with this story. So she lived in Sun Villa, which is on Missouri State's campus, and it's kind of an apartment building where you can live. And she had a roommate who was actually out of town. She was actually out of the country at this time, so she was completely alone in the apartment, and there's no way anybody else could have been messing with her or anything like that. But I guess she laid down for a midday nap, like you do in college. I took so many naps, and I still love to take naps. But when she laid down, she felt something like it was sitting next to her on the bed. She felt something sit down, felt like a person sit down next to her on the bed, and she said she shot out of there so quickly. And for any of you who have heard any of the kind of urban legends around Missouri State, there are a ton of myths and legends about some of the buildings at Missouri State being haunted. So I'm not sure if Sun Villa is one of them. This was the first story that I had heard about that, but I know Freddie, if anybody talks about that building, everybody knows that that's haunted, or everybody talks about it being haunted, and there are a few others on campus that people have had a lot of experiences at. So it's really interesting to hear something that actually took place on Missouri State's campus, kind of right from someone who did it, rather than secondhand from a million other people telling you the same story. My next story is actually from someone who I have known for quite a long time. We used to work together, and she's pretty sensitive. She's always had a lot of ghost stories to tell and creepy things that have happened to her over the years. So I made sure she told me as many of them as she could think of, and I'm going to spread them out throughout the videos. But the first one I wanted to tell you really gets under my skin, so I wanted to tell you that one first. Her parents used to have a cleaning company in Oregon. They used to live there, and they were working in a building that I'm not sure what it does now, but it used to be like a pediatric doctor's office, or, you know, where people took care of kids, doctors took care of kids, and also where children were born. So once they built a new hospital, that was all moved from this location, but it was a very, very old building, and that was its main purpose. So that just makes all of this already creepy. If you know the history behind the building, that makes it creepy just to go into it. And any old building at night when you're cleaning is going to be terrifying, but this makes it even worse. So from what her parents say, they heard children playing up on the third floor, I guess is where the toddlers were taken care of, where the toddlers were looked after by doctors and things. And I guess they heard kids toddler age, what sounded like, playing with toys. They heard toy cars rolling across the floor and things of that nature. So that doesn't sound super creepy to me. I mean, yeah, it's gonna terrify you because it's a ghost, but at least kids aren't gonna seem super malicious or scary. But they said there was definitely another energy in that place. They said the lights would go on and off. They really weren't happy about that, obviously. And my friend's super sensitive. She says she gets it from her mom, and I guess her mom just felt really bad vibes in this place. I don't blame her, especially if somebody's turning lights off and on and just giving you the heebie-jeebies. So her parents also had another friend who worked for this company who kind of alternated with them cleaning this building, and she used to have fingers run through her hair, which anybody who's spent a lot of time around kids and has hair, they are weird. Kids are so strange. Like my dance kids, they'll touch your hair, they'll pull your hair, run their hands through your hair, whatever. When they feel comfortable with you, that's kind of something that they do. They're just, like I said, kind of weird. So if you think about the fact that these are ghost kids, that makes it about a million times more weird, in my opinion. But what's really sad about this is not only if, you know, the paranormal experiences are true and this is really part of the afterlife, not only are these kids trapped in this building forever, but they're also trapped with a really dark and malicious presence that's not a good energy at all, and that's really sad to me. I mean, it's sad to think about those kids having to deal with this and then also having something really scary maybe after them. I mean, I guess what's the worst that can happen is like they kill them, but you're already a ghost. Anyway, so I just think it's really creepy, and I thought that was a great story. The last one I have for you today, I think I saved the best for last only because I actually have photos that go along with this one. So this is one of my friends. She's a Facebook friend. She lives in Kansas City, and she's been getting woken up in the middle of the night, like around 1, 3 a.m., the middle of the night, for several days in a row. And I guess whatever this presence is that's in her home is really liking to mess with appliances, because her dishwasher is going off in the middle of the night when they did not set it. Their dryer door just flies open when obviously nobody's doing anything with it. Their thermostat is turning itself down in the middle of the night, so all of a sudden it's freezing in their house and nobody did anything to it. And they're hearing all these creepy sounds just kind of coming out of nowhere. But to make matters worse, they have one of those automatic beds that kind of has a motor and it moves up and down. And I guess it has been moving up and down by itself in the middle of the night. So if that's not terrifying, talk about not being able to miss out on it. Like if something's happening in the middle of the night and I'm asleep, who cares? But if it's moving my bed and waking me up, then we have a problem. So she has security cameras in her kitchen, and they were pointing towards kind of her countertop area, the side of her kitchen. And she decided to look at it because she had heard some things rustling around the night before, and she just wanted to check it out. So when she looked back at the security footage, she found this photo. And this photo, to me, at first I didn't see it, but she had posted it on Facebook, and there were a lot of people on there commenting that they saw a face. And once she kind of zoomed in, you'll see here in this photo, she's kind of circled it and showed people but it looks like a face sitting on the counter. And although I wouldn't have picked it out right away, that really is what it looks like. And to me, I'm thinking if she posted this and she actually really is scared, because she does seem to be terrified just how she's talking about it on Facebook, she would definitely notice if that had changed from night to night. So she just found this security footage from the middle of the night when everything was banging around, and there's a face in it that's not normally there. Like, even if it was an illusion, it's not normally there. That is absolutely terrifying. So I definitely wanted to include that today. I have a few more stories coming up that also have photos, so stay tuned for that. And I'm hoping that each one of these videos will get a little bit spookier and a little bit more fun, especially once I get the hang of it. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, and if you have any questions or any of your own ghost stories, I would love to hear them down below. I've got 3 more videos to make, so if I could include your story in any way, that would be wonderful. But if you don't want it included, that's totally fine too. I'll definitely ask permission before I do so. I know this is kind of a personal topic. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your October, and I will be here for all of it. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!